Because we were just south of the Antarctic Circle, the sun never actually set, but it did get close to the horizon.
So it just sort of goes that little lump.
It's in a sinusoidal type of a wave where the sun sort of goes down and then creeps back up.
Yeah.
And it gets down very close to the horizon. And at that time, the light's getting a bit dim and they might not want to fly.
Mm.
Anyway, we're well after 11. Finally, and they came to the last flight of the day. I got my flight into Mawson.
Well, there's come over the PA saying, Phil Walter, please attend to the flight deck.
The flight deck was the ice.
Oh, no, but you still got one on the back of the boat as well. But...
Yeah, but they were using the ice at that stage.
So they would have had a fuel depot there just to keep filling up the fuel.
Yes.
I suppose they must be pretty damn reliable choppers to be able to fly all day without sort of any breakdowns or anything like that.
I'm not aware of any problems with the choppers in those days. There might have been, but not that I know of. And obviously they were Hughes 500s.
Yeah.
They must have chosen them because they're very reliable.
Very robust little thing. And fast, very fast, aren't they?
Yeah. They cruised at around 90 knots.
Oh, okay, I thought they were faster than that.
They could go faster, but that was their cruising speed.
But when you watch some of the TV shows, those little things zoom around 90 knots.
Yeah, well, if you're standing on the ground and something zooms past you at 90 knots, it seems fast.
So, right, you're cool. You jump on, you got all your gear. Do they strap it onto the side of the skids and stuff like that?
I can't remember. I could have had tripods strapped onto the side.
Yep.
But the rest just gets thrown into the chopper.
Into the chopper.
And off we go.
Right. Do you get this music? Da, 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 da,
yeah, I could hear it the whole way in.
Da, 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 da. That movie probably wasn't out by then.
Now, this was another experience unto itself. Still Christmas Day.
Only just.
Yeah. So we hadn't been in the air long, and in the distance I saw it. My new home.
Was it a bit of an anticlimax going, oh, God, is that what it is? I mean, you've seen pictures and everything else, and you know what it supposed to look like, but you sort of get there going, seriously?
Well, as you say, I'd familiarised myself with it, looking at pictures and movies and stuff.
Mm.
But when we saw it, and then within, it seemed like seconds, instead of looking at it, we were down there on the ground, and I got out, and it was quite a different experience when you're actually there, not just looking at photos and things.
Did you feel a bit unstable on your feet? Because you've gone from this moving, rocking sort of, I know it was fairly still the last few days, but you get on actual land. And I suppose it's a revelation from your point of view. You're standing on an entire continent, untouched by Walter's feet.
Well, that's right. Everything's new from now on. You sort of don't notice things like land sickness and goodness knows what else. So we got out, unloaded the stuff. I was met by the 1975 geophysicist.
Bearded guy. Yeah?
Oh, yes.
And you're clean shaven at that time, I suppose?
I'm
sure you
were.
were.
I wasn't quite clean shaven.
Everybody starts like, clean shave, wow. And then...
I think the last time I shaved was the day we boarded the boat.
Oh, okay.
The drama continued.
Right.
First off, grabbed my personal gear. There's other people took my geophysical gear and put it somewhere. Went down and he said, we'll show you to your donga.
Oh, they still call them dongas, do they? Even down there?
That's all they call them.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, this one was 2 beds to a cubicle in the thing because you had to have a few like that to cater for the increased population of the...
Bunking in together?
Yeah.
So that obviously turned your nose up a bit. Oh, I'm not sleeping with anyone else. Oh.
Yeah, I was quite happy to not be sleeping on the boat.
Yeah.
So that didn't worry me that much. Dumped my stuff in there. He said, right, now we'll go up and show you the rec room and the dining room. Dining room is kind of the social centre of the base back in those days.
Mm-hmm.
Up we went, not far away. Walked in, and there, lying under the table, was this body. And beside the body was a great big pool of spew.
Oh, great.
Food
poisoning?
Well, I did wonder. What's going on here to Peter? He said, well, we've had a bit of an incident.
Oh, okay.
Now, you remember that mysterious guy back at the boat, the first guy that came back?
Yeah.
He features.
Okay. So you've got 2 mysterious characters, one on the floor,
yep,
in his own spew, which to me sounds pretty weird that you're leaving some bloke on the floor. First
It was
day.
passed out. I don't know when it happened, so
Okay.
I overlooked that.
Sort of like, it's
What's
like
going on?
Oh, we'll just leave that one there.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yep. What's going on? here?
So Peter explained to me. He said, "Yeah, well, the guy on the floor whose name was Circlip."
No, really? I thought you just imagined that sort of name.
No, Circlip was the name.
Okay.
They named one of the husky dogs after him. He'd been
Okay.
down quite a lot of times.
Is that his actual real name, Sir Clip?
No.
Okay, that's his nickname, like yours is
Yeah.
Peach.
Yeah,
Right.
kind of like that.
Okay.
So Circlip was comatose on the ground.
Right. Puke
But
everywhere.
He
Yeah.
was one of the radio operators.
Okay. Right. Radio
The
operator.
guy who was taken back to the boat early,
Yeah.
he was a radio operator
Right.
who happened to take a dislike to the head of the radio operators.
That's Sir Clip.
No, not Circlip, another one.
There's 3 of them.
Well, there was more than 3. I think there was about 4 or 5 radio operators. In those days, you need to have a team.
All right.
You probably wouldn't need that nowadays.
But so he had a problem with one of the other guys.
Yes, this guy had a problem with the head, the radio OIC as he was called,
Right.
officer in charge.
Yep.
So he decided things came to a head with this feud between them.
Yep.
On the day we arrived. That triggers people who are a little bit, unstable.
Yeah.
So he laid into the radio OIC and just about killed him.
That's the guy on the boat who just about killed the radio operator, the boss.
That's right.
So who's the guy on the floor
He was another radio operator who was kind of upset at the whole thing.
and threw up everywhere?
Yeah.
He didn't get bashed up too.
No. He didn't get bashed up. There's another story about that. Circlip told me the story once, a week or so later.
The guy on the floor.
The guy on the floor.
Right. Okay. It's
He
just
said-
really complicated because like there's
Yeah. I
4
know.
people. The guy who's got bashed up by the guy who's on the boat. Where's he?
The guy who he's into the surgery.
Oh, okay. So he's really in trouble.
Richard was
Appendicitis,
taken in there, so there was 2
It's
of
like
them,
a
2 patients.
ER. Right. Okay. Yep. Because he'd been really
Fortunately-
badly injured.
Yeah, fortunately there was a whole building devoted to the medical.
Yeah.
So there was room. There was a doctor's room, the doctor's accommodation,
Right.
surgery, what
Okay.
have you. This
Guy on the
guy
boat-
threatened to lay into Circlip. He said, "I'm going to bash you." And he came up to do it. This was sometime during the year.
Yeah.
Circlip turned to him and said, "Well, if you're going to do that,
Yeah.
you better kill me."
Yeah. That's pretty intense, isn't it?
Yeah, he says, "Because if you don't, one day when you're asleep,
Yeah.
I'll come and bash your brains out."
It's just unbelievable the sort of level of threatening behaviour
Yeah.
that is. That if you don't come and kill me, I will beat your living daylights out of you. I will kill you.
With a bat
Yeah.
while you're asleep.
And it's just like that whole stress. I suppose that's why it came to a peak. They stressed each other out, and it just snapped.
Well, this particular guy, apparently he was very unpopular. So he was obviously some guy who shouldn't have been there. Circlip's threat did actually defuse the situation, and the fight never happened.
Yeah.
But it did happen with the OIC on Christmas Day 1975.
So did the dogs sit around and go, "Oh, this is what the humans look like when they're having a fight"?
How did you know that?
Because that'd be funny, because we're always taking the mickey out of the dogs having a fight.
Yeah.
And then the humans have a fight, and they really go for it. Dogs
They
just sort
do.
of pretend to, be
Actually,
buddies.
they don't. Most of the time, it seems serious, but it's not, and they don't really harm each other. Sometimes they do.
Would Sir Clip have been leaving on that time as well?
No,
He would have stayed.
he stayed
Yeah, he would have stayed for the next.
for the second one.
But this was the last opportunity for them to have a go at each other.
Yep.
And he thought, "I'm going to bang him now. I'm going to get him now, and then I'm on the boat and I'm out."
Well, I don't know if this other guy was scheduled to go back that day. After the incident, I was told that the other expeditioners told this guy, "You will be on the first chopper out of here. If you're not, we're going to kill you." So
Wow,
he
must
was on the
have
first
really-
chopper. Yeah.
Really annoyed the hell out of everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So he was on the first
That's
chopper.
cabin fever
Yeah.
gone mad, isn't it? That's what
Yeah.
literally it turns into. He obviously went willingly because he wasn't under some sort of security detail to make sure he didn't do anything stupid.
He went willingly when they said, "If you don't go,
We will kill you.
yeah." So if you call that willing, I don't know.
What sort of policing do you have down there? When situations like that happen, like in a country town, you have a local policeman who's the law and has some way of securing people who have gone a bit nuts.
the law down there was the OIC, the officer in charge of the station for that year.
Right.
And that particular year is a guy named Lem Macy. And he's well known. Person down the Antarctic, always very popular. Now, all the interactions between the people there, I don't know any more than I've just told you.
Yeah.
But he would have been the law.
So is there some sort of holding cell that they would put people in because of,
There
situation?
isn't an official holding cell, but I know in years past they actually have used
Send him to the cooler.
improvised
Yeah.
holding cells for people who've gone a bit loopy.
Oh no, I was talking to Wigsy that they'd actually had somebody, they had to
Yes.
put him in a padded cell because he'd lost it.
And they can't remember. Did he say they had a straight jacket or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Just to hold him in, and because he just completely, and people like the electrician said, I'm not working here.
Yeah,
I'm not
that was
going
it.
back because the level of risk was just unacceptable. So that's a really fascinating first day, Phil. You're sitting there going, what the hell am I doing here? And I suppose you could feel the tension when you're wandering around with the other people going, hi, hey, I'm Phil.
Yeah, I didn't interact, apart from with Peter, I didn't really interact with the others. It was late at night. I mean, it's now Boxing Day by this stage. First day, magic day, greeted by the penguins, flown in to Mawson after having had a panoramic show of icebergs.
Yeah.
Got into Mawson, then we found out what could happen down there.
It's bizarre when you've got that beautiful natural vista of nature being beautiful and everything else, and then you hit the humans again and going, oh, God.
You don't get away from them if there's other humans there.
So what's the sort of population at the base then? Is it still summer team hasn't really established themselves yet?
Well, the summer team, this was the
That was
day
your lot,
they all arrived,
Yeah.
along with half the winterers. So the base had gone from about, I think they might have had about 26, 27 that year, suddenly goes to about 80 in the space of a day.
Yeah.
So you can imagine everything changes. I don't know from my own experience, the day that boat comes back, everything changes.
It's a different mindset that we're going,
Yeah.
we're leaving.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Our home, that's our home, suddenly it's not anymore.
So how do you personalise your donga?
The donga was, for me, it was nothing. It was just a bed. For others, they actually did a lot of personalising.
Yeah, their sanctuary.
But I had my own office, and that's where I did my personalising. But that was the first day. It went from supremely beautiful, magic, to totally bizarre.
Did you actually guys celebrate Christmas that day?
We had a party on the boat. I can't remember much about it, but I think we had a good time earlier in the morning. But by the time I got into Mawson, there was no celebration of anything. It was very downcast place.
I suppose they diffused the situation by fixing up the guy on the floor and the guy in the hospital. Oh, we missed out on one bloke. What about Dick? He got his appendicitis. That's a major, serious operation. What happened to him?
He was operated on.
Okay, yeah, and?
He was fine. With 3 top-line doctors down there and the medical assistants, he was pretty fine, and he was our cook for the year. No dramas.
Now, was the medical assistant dressed up in a nurse's costume, or just a furry, hairy old bloke? I'm the medical assistant. G'day.
Yeah, a hairy old bloke.
Damn, where are those nurses?
So that's the story of the first day.
Wow, what
It was
a recollection in that respect. And the other thing is how many pilots did they have? One pilot running all day. He must have had a person to take over.
Oh, each chopper had a pilot, and the plane had a pilot.
But
So
you needed
there's 4.
2. Yeah, but you need 2.
No.
You can't run that pilot all day for 11 hours.
They'd have breaks.
I'd have a cup of tea and keep
Yeah,
going.
each chopper had one pilot and one pilot only.
And they went back with the boat, didn't they?
They didn't go. No, they were left down there for the summer.
Yeah.
They were central to the summer field work, and they went back. When the boat got back in, what was it, early March or something, they were loaded off and went back to Australia.
So they did have a base at Mawson. I mean, like a place where they could do some maintenance and stuff like that. Because I was watching another show, and basically they had to do it in shifts to do maintenance on these aircrafts because they're so cold.
There was two aircraft mechanics came down as well. Their job was to keep those aircraft working and in top condition, and that's what they did.
Apparently, it is a different conditions to fly down there because of the cold. The atmosphere's thinner, I think.
No, it's actually thicker.
It's thicker. Okay, it's thicker because obviously the condensing air, and it's actually a different flying experience than somewhere you're flying in the desert environment and high up.
It's actually, on the whole, much safer flying down there. The cold air has greater lifting ability, and if you went down, you're much easier to spot there than you are in most parts of the world. Yeah, you land somewhere and someone's coming out looking for you. You spot them a mile away. Well, many miles away, in fact.
Did you guys have any accidents with the aircrafts? I mean, the show I was watching was talking about all the accidents the Americans had. I mean, they were extraordinary accidents. You know, engines being blown off by the jet.
Yeah, well, we saw a classic one with Ron's.
That's right, with the Neptune takeoff.
Kill people.
And that's,
but no, we had no dramas with the aircraft, thankfully.
So you had a lovely day, you know, interspersed with drama, high drama, mad humans. Yeah, that was the first day. So what do you think after that? Going, what am I doing? What am I doing here?
No, you were still overwhelmed by the fact you're in it's almost like another planet.
Yeah.
And this was your new home for the next 15 or so months.
Did you sort of feel homesick?
No.
You know, because I suppose you've had that long trip down. That helps to separate away from the homeland, I suppose you call it.
I mean, you did have bouts of homesickness, and one of the common things is dreams. Most people experience some very vivid dreams of being back home. Somehow you're back home, and you don't no idea how you got there.
Wow.
When you get back from the Antarctic, it reverses.
You dream of being in.
You do. It's amazing.
All right, on that beautiful note, you've ended up nicely. Let's call that a wrap for this one. Even though this was just supposed to be a test one, actually, everybody. But we just kept going, and hopefully it looks all right.
We'll check the footage out. If it's good, this is not a test.
Yes. Okay, and cut.